Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a nurse leader of a nonprofit and a pastor's wife? Well, my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know working from their computers anywhere around the world, making money and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to click the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. Our special guest today is Patricia Manis. Patricia earned a Master's of Science in Nursing from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from North Carolina Central University. She also holds an associate's degree in Christian ministerial studies from Raleigh Institute of Biblical Studies. In addition to working as a full-time nurse practitioner, Mrs. Manis serves along with her husband, who pastors Message of Hope Ministries in the downtown Raleigh area. She started this 501c3 in 2019 with a mission to enhance the minds of children by enriching their lives through assistance with academic and character building in a positive environment. She is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So thank you for joining us.
You are welcome. Glad to be here.
So when we first talked, you said that you grew up in project housing. How did this affect the rest of your life?
Yes. So my parents were your everyday working people, and my mom was a CNA. My dad worked in the local mill in our hometown, and so they had six children to feed. And so you think about that, feeding six children, working on the salaries that they had and the income. Affordable housing was all they could afford was in the project housing area, and in that era, I just learned, first of all, to empathize with people because there were so many people that were dealing with struggling financially and dealing with a lot of things that were happening socially in the community and those type of things. And so early on, I just developed empathy for those that are in need. And also I learned unity because even though there were a lot of social issues surrounding us, there were people that were in our unit or in our section. There's about 4 or 5 rows of houses connected together, or apartments together, and we learned to be unified. We learned to help one another and work out. And so that's what I learned most of all and took away: empathize with others. And we also learned that there's hope. There's going to be a better day, and there's hope even in the midst of all the things that we were dealing with and all the social things that were happening in our community.
I think it's valuable that you said that you those are the things that you learn, because a lot of times we can't, some people come out of those situations and they're saying, "Oh, it's me," right? But you came out
Mhm,
of that situation and you said, "No, this
mhm.
this is what I learned. This is
Yeah,
what I've taken away from it." And when you can take the goodness out of any
that's
situation,
it.
it's so valuable. And
Mhm.
the fact that you have hope, right? Because
Yes.
the middle class are the people who probably are the most at risk, right? And the reason why
Mhm.
they're most at risk is because they're comfortable, right? And
That's
so
right.
the poor, they ain't rich yet, right? And the rich
Exactly.
they want to keep being rich. The poor want to
Yes.
be rich, right? And
Right.
middle class is the worst place to be.
That's it. That's it. Yes. Crunch in the middle.
That's right. So now, what is the reason for you becoming a nurse?
Well, my mom was a certified nursing assistant at our local hospital, and I would watch her go to work. She worked third shift, and I would watch her with her crisp white uniform on, and she'd go to work and she'd come back. She'd work 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I just began asking her when I was younger, "What do you do at your job?" And she said, "I help them from birth to death." And I said, "What is that?" She says, "Well, I take care of the baby babies in the nursery when they're born, and that kind of thing, and washing and helping feed them. And then she said she works on the geriatric floor, so she gets a chance to help those people who need to be transferred, those people who need help with feeding and changing their diapers. So basically, she helped them from the cradle to the grave. And that was just interesting to me. And so later on, I just began in high school. I took health occupations so that I can just learn more about this. And it just became more and more of a passion because of that. I enjoyed it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. My mom was a CNA as well. And it was so funny because that was the one thing she wanted me to do. She never pushed me towards it, right? Because I
Right.
went to the introductory to engineering, and I say that all the time. But,
Mhm.
she never pushed me towards nursing until I got ready to graduate. Once I graduated, I was like, I'm applying to NC State. And she was like, well, we ain't got enough money for NC State. And I was like, what am I gonna do? She was like, well, you gonna be a nurse. Uh, so I love it. I love it. And you said that you wanted to do something in women's health. And why was this a focus area for you? Because let me tell you something. Us in the emergency department, like we love y'all, right? We love
Yeah,
you that are in women's health because y'all
yeah.
are so phenomenal, right? And delivering children is something that, yeah, what are you trying to do? Okay, so go ahead. Tell us why you wanted to do women's health.
I like the way you said that. You're not trying to do that. Well, as a result of, like I said, my senior year in high school, I worked as a CNA, and I worked on a mother baby unit. I really, really enjoyed that, and so that kind of sparked my interest. And then when I graduated from my undergrad, and I had my first job at Duke Hospital, it was on a med surge floor. I hated it. I was like, I know this is not what I want to do. And so so I decided, okay, let me see if I can go back to something that's in the beginning with women and babies and that type of thing. So when I moved to Raleigh and got my job at Wake Med, and that was on a mother baby unit. Fell in love with it, taking care of the moms, the babies, that type of thing. The labor and delivery part, I really didn't do. And, I was glad that I didn't get into that part. I want to see them after all the drama is over and they're happy and they have their smiling baby. And yeah, so that part. And so now I work, with a clinic where we're helping, pregnant women and, their babies. And so you get to see them, in their happiest times. And then you get a chance to see the baby comes back with the appointment. The mom comes back and brings pictures. It's just a happy time. And then on the other end, helping women know more about their reproductive health, and talking about pap smears and mammograms and those type of things. So it's just always been a joy for me.
You know what? I think it's value in that second portion. I think that probably had I been a part of the second portion, where it's after all the drama, as you say, is done, right? Then I think maybe I would have liked it a lot more. But I was like, "Psst, nope, that's not because all I saw was the first part, right?
I like that part. Right,
Because
right.
I remember I was in the emergency department one day, and I was at the charge nurse desk, and my staff. Now I was very intent on the staff that's at that front door. I was very intent on them being
Mm,
very intuitive, right?
right.
Understanding whenever an emergency comes. And the reason why is because whenever an emergency comes, you need to know that there is an emergency, right? You need to be able to recognize that. I
Mm,
can't have you crying wolf every 5 seconds, right?
yes,
And so,
yes.
they would call this particular day. They called and they were like, we got this young lady up here and she's about to push out this baby.
Mm.
And so then I started running. And it was so funny because one of the nurses was like, he was like, I've never seen you run. And I was like, you
Mm.
don't. That means
Mm.
you need to run with me.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So I started running and literally we got her upstairs. She plopped over to the next bed and she delivered that baby. And I was like, thank you, Lord. Bye-bye.
And I'm pretty sure you all have had some in cars and some on the just as they've gotten into the ER. I mean, it's something. It's not something that you want to have to do. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But we're here for all of it. We're here for all. Now you started a nonprofit. Now, what is the name of it? And we discussed that in the bio. Now, tell me about the primary mission of that, and why is it that that's a primary mission?
Well, it's Project Hope Community, and it was started because we had children that we were helping in our ministry. We were helping them with math and reading, and then we decided, okay, well, we need to branch this out a little bit further because there are children in the community that need this help and that have fallen behind. And we know that reading is essential. If you're not able to read, then you're not able to do math because with math they have so many word problems.
Mm.
And so you really need to know how to do reading and math. And so this was birthed, Project Hope Community, and we began in 2018 just helping. But then in 2019 is when we really just went full steam ahead. And the main mission is just to help children in their academics. And while we're doing that with the math and reading in particularly, we want to also do it in a positive environment. So we also talk about character traits, honesty, and integrity, citizenship, those type of things, and just make it well-rounded for the children. And then also we reach out to the parents because there's times when parents may not have something for school. So we did book bag giveaways, and we did just clothing drives, those type of things to help out as well, because we know that the children need help, but the parents are the ones that need the help even more because they're trying to manage and take care of everything and take care of the children. So to be a resource for them.
And the reality is that whenever you are raising children, it's really it's not easy. It's not. It
Even
is
with the
not
most help,
easy.
even with the most help and support.
That's right.
Some people that don't have that. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
probably one of the things that I have in my lifetime that has been one of the biggest challenges that I've ever faced. And it's because you have this life that's on the outside of you, and they have their own different personalities, and you want to make sure that they're raised in that environment. So I'm glad that you provide that environment for them. Now you
Mhm.
are a full-time practitioner, pastor's wife, and you have a 501c3. What are some of the disciplines that you have in your life that helps you balance it all?
Wow. My motto: pray about everything and don't worry about anything. Because I can't control things that are out of my control. I can control the things that I can't control. So um, I often tell people this. I think of keeping a balance when I look at all of the things that I have to do, when I look at home and work and the nonprofit and serving in the community and the ministry and the sorority, all those things. It just looks like a lot of plates spinning around. And I'm just trying to keep them going, keep them going, keep them going. And so when you look at that, I get overwhelmed. And so I said, you know what, God, I can't worry about things that I can't control. I can only try to make sure that I'm devoting time to certain things and to this and to that. And one of the main things that God has given me is that Isaiah 26:3, my God will keep you in perfect peace as your mind is stayed on me. So every day I have to make sure that my mind is stayed on him. And that's what gives me the peace. That's what gives me the come. And that's what gives me the discipline to be able to do all the different things that I do. In addition to making sure that I'm going to get me some good eating food, because that helps encourage me. I'm a person that loves to eat. I'm not a person that, people tell me all the time, if you give Pat a good meal, she'll be happy. And that's me. You find a good meal and I'm happy. So food makes the happiness in my life along with everything else.
I love it. I love it. Like that was not completely not what I expected to come out of your mouth at that point. But I completely understand it for sure. I was telling someone, they were like, "Well, are you hungry?" I was like, because we were at a retreat this weekend with Instagram, and at the retreat there was she had private chefs there, right? And it was
Yes.
amazing. And so
Mhm.
I was always the first one up there to get
Yep.
food. And they were like, "Are you hungry?" I was like, "I'm always hungry."
Yep.
I
Yep.
like food.
I like food. Yes. Yes.
I love it.
That's it for me.
Now, as a result of the pandemic, you had to go virtual. You could have just stopped. What was your motivation for taking the leap of faith and continuing?
just knowing that these children needed help and we had to find some way to help them. Technology was not something that was my main source of knowledge in, but my son, had a lot of awareness about it, as well as my daughter and my daughter-in-law. And so I reached out to them. I said, we've got to do something to help these young kids. And so the challenge that we ran into is that we had some children that had maybe one computer in their house, but maybe there were three kids and they were all on different age group levels. So we had to try to figure out, are we going to get something else to help them? Can we get, someone to give us computers? Can we get something to help out? And then we had those children who did not have Wi-Fi access. And so we were so happy to find out that Wake County School did give those children that didn't have laptops and those type of things, they did give those to children. And then they also gave Wi-Fi access and for those and paid for it. So that helped out because we were able to then reach the children in addition to the different things that we had in place. And so that made it a whole lot easier. But just knowing this was a hurdle we had to come over. The kids needed help. And you probably have heard from so many people, the children are still struggling because even virtually is difficult. But having that one-on-one session has helped the children tremendously. And we've had moms to tell us that, and dads as well. Thank you that our kids, they get the virtual training online in school, but that one-on-one on that Saturday morning or that Tuesday night or whatever night they work with the children has helped them tremendously. So, yeah.
So now I wonder because when you go into nursing, you go into nursing with this thought that I'm going to go and I'm going to work for someone else, but you decided to
Yes.
take the entrepreneurial leap, right? So just kind of walk through, like, why did you choose that particular? I know that it was because of the kids, but like out of all the things that you could have chosen, right? Because there's so
Uh,
many different things, and this is one of the things that nursing just sometimes I think nurses don't realize, and I didn't realize it at first, so no
mhm,
shade, right?
mhm.
um I think that nurses don't realize that they have such a wealth of knowledge and that they can do so many things. So why was this particular thing such a mission for you?
You know, raising our own children and going through the public school system and just seeing how our children, our Black children, were
Uh-huh.
falling behind in a lot of areas. And I would always say, why does it seem like our children are not in the upper classes, are not in those AG classes? Like, what is happening? So many of our children were falling behind. And you would hear so many comments like, well, they're not on point for the EOGs, and the majority of the kids that are falling behind are in the Black community and those type of things. And I began to think, I said, well, surely we've got a lot of people in our communities that are educated and that could help others. And surely, I mean, our children are smart. So we need to do something about that. And so it just kind of sat on me for years and years and years. And then just running into some of the children that we have run into in the community and even in our ministry that just difficult reading. I mean, they're supposed to be in the third grade and they're not really at that level for reading. Or even what's even more disheartening is to see children that were in the ninth grade and were still having trouble with certain words and basic things. And I said, if they have a great foundation, then it's going to help propel them for the next level that they have to go through. And that just kind of became a passion, and I just wanted to help out and reach out to those children. And then looking at the moms who are busy. You're a single mom, but you're working all day, then you have to come home and help your child, then you have to cook, and so I just began to think there's got to be a little bit of help and boost that we can do. And so this is our portion that we can do to help out.
I think I love it. So
Mhm.
now, what is a book that has impacted your life, and why was it so impactful?
I love anything that's by Priscilla Shire. Have read things by her lately, but I would say probably in the last year or so, the book by Michelle Obama, Becoming. And
Mm,
in that, she says something to the effect of, I think she says, "Your story is what you have, and it's yours, and it's something for you to own." And I began to think about that. We all have a story to tell,
Mhm.
and it can impact and help others. And a lot of time I often tell people, if you are going through something, it's not just for you only to learn from. It's to
Always.
help that next person along the way. And so your story, you never know. When you tell it, it could help someone else. It can encourage someone else to get over that hump, gives hope to someone else. Someone else can say, I can do it, just by your story.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And one of the things that I have been very intent on is understanding the fact that nothing it whatever happens, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Okay, it happens for you, and that story. And we have to turn our thoughts away, perspective away from thinking that woe is me, right?
Yes.
Because life, calamity falls on the just and the unjust. It's going to fall on everybody, right? It's
Right.
how you go through it, it's how you grow through it, right? And it's how people look at you whenever you're going through it. And what happens a lot of times is we sit in that minutia of it, and we're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, when the
Yes.
reality is that we have to understand that, like you said, the story is for someone else.
That's
It
right.
is for someone else. I mean, I don't, I can tell you right now, I don't look like what I've been through, right?
That's
You don't look like what you've been through, right? And
right.
understanding that fact and just getting past it, because like
Yes.
last week I had a super busy week.
Yeah.
And then, over the past few, just probably over the past month, I've had several like really close people, like, to me, pass away, right? And last week, it was just rough. It was just a rough week. But you know what? I showed up, right? And what some people do is they don't show up. They sit in that minutia and they're like, well, woe is me and I can't do it. And I'm all about self-care, but I'm all about showing up as well, because you got to show up for yourself when nobody else will show up for you.
It. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So,
Well said.
who is a person that has impacted you other than your mom, and why were they so impactful?
You know, um, a whole village. Um, and when I think about it, I got the compassion and the quiet strength from my mom. I got the you can do it spirit from my high school guidance counselor, Mrs. Harper. You can do it. You can do this. And the perseverance from my sister, who went through a kidney transplant and is doing fine now. But just to see how, like you said, she showed up every day, went to work, did what she had to do, would have to go to dialysis and until she was able to get a kidney transplant. And then also one of my friends who's dealing with, health and sickness now with kidney disease, and just seeing that perseverance. So just, I believe, just a whole wealth of people that were in my village that have made a big difference and an impact in my life. And then most of all, I have to say that my husband, because if it had not been for him, I would not have been able to go through my master's program. I mean, my kids were 11, I think, and 14 or something like that. And so, that's teenage years. They really need you to be on top of things. And so my husband, he cooked, he helped with homework, discipline, whatever he had to do. And I was able to study. And mind you, I was still working a full-time job. Plus, I was doing part-time classes. So it took me 3 years to finish, but I did like two classes a semester. But I did it. And the only way I got through it is because of my husband, the support of him and just being there for me. And he has just been the love of my life always. Been married 33 years, going on 34 years, and my best friend. My
I
best
love
friend.
it. I love it. And and I think that sometimes, and I've said this before as well. Sometimes men, so I think some men just don't understand the value of that support. I mean, we can move mountains, right?
Yeah.
That support. And my husband is amazing as well.
Yeah.
And he has been that backbone, that's just like, I know he is that quiet strength, because I'm boisterous and gregarious at times, right? And so he's like pulling me back. You can't do that.
balance you out, right?
Balance, definitely. We are definitely the balance for sure. So, just being I think the value in that is that if people understood that value, they understood the value of that, then it would change, it would be a game changer because you can do more together than you can apart.
Yes. Yes.
Many hands make light work and just
Yes.
getting it done.
Exactly.
Yes. So now where can the audience find you to donate to your nonprofit?
Yes, www, projecthopecommunity.org. And when you go on that page, there's a donate button. And there's also, for those who still want to use checks and mails, there's a post office box there as well if you want to send a check to Project Hope Community.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. I love it. So thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up this morning.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know working from their computers around the world and making money and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders such as Patricia that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to click the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day.